And we are back again with another episode of We Got That Smoke with none other than Dr. John Henry Clarke.
Look what a beautiful opera that was made. What a beautiful opera. There's so many things we in our life that we haven't conveyed. It be a beautiful children's story, be a beautiful adult story. Beautiful story of conversion. The story of Madame Tannable. I can name you 100 of them now. I've done nothing but research. Don't get me wrong, I'll research the latest for other reasons too. Academic reasons as well. Now, buddy, after we entered the 20th century, we were in a conflict over Booker T. Washington's theory, Du Bois, a conflict we never should have entered in the first place. Global white supremacy was manifesting itself in restrictions in the West Indies, in restrictions in Africa, in the continued partitioning of Africa and buying off or killing off all dissident elements. In this country, massive riots, 1906. Our reaction to Booker T. Washington's program was self-reliance, which is a form of nation building or nation management. Those terrible years between 1900 and 1915, Africans progressing all over the world, the Caribbean islands fighting for constitutional government and improving their own lot because they were a majority, but they still did not remove the private clubs in every island, but they broken themselves down into clubs for brown people, clubs for almost white people, clubs for black people. We see a lot of things beyond the boundaries and his other works on the subject. You can understand it and read Rex Neverfort's work, Mirror, Mirror, and another work, Color, Race and Color in Caribbean Literature. The British had built in an army, some of the islands, especially in Barbados, by telling them that they were English, and they became as English as the English. And by enough infusion of blood in Jamaica, they would hold their hands because they were fighting their relatives. And yet there was a group fighting for constitutional government, consistently fighting for improvement. 1908, Marcus Garvey would make his tour of Central America. 1914, he would be in London, studying under Deuce Muhammad Ali. And in Deuce Muhammad Ali's paper, I'm reading an editorial which was a quote from, of all things, of white black nationalists. Edmund Booth, who had grown disenchanted with other missionaries and went around Africa saying to the Africans, the white man can't be trusted. And when finally the African looked at him and asked, can you be trusted? To his everlasting credit, he said no. And he proclaimed, Africa for the Africans. Marcus Garvey read it and added the phrase, Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. Marcus Garvey and his entire movement was a result of reaction to global white supremacy. The African colonial movement was a result of it. The early church movement in the United States was a result of the fight against global white supremacy. We wanted to get back some of our African South. The Chief Sam movement in Oklahoma was as a result Africans trying to escape global white supremacy. This story is told in a book called The Longest Way Home, the Chief Sam movement in Oklahoma.
Don't know what to read? You can start here.
Different harbors, waiting for a ship to take them home to Africa. The Pap Singleton movement for resettlement in the United States. The Liberian movement continued. 1915, Booker T. Washington was dead. Du Bois moved to the center stage of leadership, replaced soon by the attention given to Marcus Garvey. The rise and fall of his movement has been told many times as an 8-volume book of documents edited by Professor Robert Hill on the life of Marcus Garvey. You can argue with Professor Hill's notes, you can argue with his introduction, you can argue with the fact that someone is seen a little conservative, but you cannot argue with the fact that he has given us the greatest documentation on Marcus Garvey ever. Going through the archives of most of the libraries where anything on Garvey existed. I think Tony Martin's work equally demands attention. And when you're tired of those, and would forgive the modesty, I think my own work. Some attention. Because I'm going to extend these remarks into a full-blown book. I need not do everything tonight. And I'm a fan of both of my colleagues, and I want you to hear them also. So, one of the things I admire about Martin Luther King, he has such a magnificent way of closing things out. I think of too many closing and get confused about which one I'm going to use. But I'm going to call on you not only to look at global white supremacy, but look at the global possibilities of African people coming together as a people across all national lines and across all religious lines. Said, a race is like a man until it loves its own history and its own memory. It cannot fulfill itself completely. I say not only to understand global white supremacy, but to understand yourself. You must be acquainted with your history. I have said that history is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day, and it is a compass that people use to find themselves on the map of human geography. History tells you where you've been and what you've been, for you are what you are. Most important is to give you some direction about where you still must go and what you still must be. The relationship of a people to their history is the same as the relationship of a child to its mother. When we look at Europe crumbling, maybe we need to stop imitating people who can't find their own way and stop following people who don't know where they are going. We need to entertain the possibility that we can give the world a new human society. We need to heal some of these wounds, some of all the cleavages between us. Take pride in wherever you were born. Be parochial, but remember, the common denominator is African.